Hey everyone, welcome to the Discover Virginia podcast. I'm Joseph Trahan, your host for the #1 video podcast in Virginia, where we explore the rich history, vibrant culture, and iconic businesses that make our Commonwealth truly special and worth talking about. So get ready as together we discover Virginia. Life has a way of testing us in ways we never expect. Some people crumble under the weight of those challenges, and others, like today's guests, find a way to rise, rebuild, and keep pushing forward in spite of the adversity. Laura, our guest today, Laura, is a serial entrepreneur joining us here in Virginia Beach with a wide array of skill sets from cold calling to specialty construction, now leading a movable solution company. She holds a contractor's license, has bartended, has built a business, has decided to build something underground as well, which I'll tell you about later, and has also learned what it truly means to overcome and adapt and push forwards with confidence. Laura, so excited to have you in the conversation today.
Thanks for having me.
So as we get started on this conversation, we listed quite a lengthy resume for you because you have really done it all. You're in a lot of ways a Jill of all trades here. And I'd love to just peel back this layer from your start in the career world. What exactly prompted you early on to decide that, hey, I wanted to do business and really figure out a way to connect with people to not only sell, but also to do it well?
So many moons ago when I was a bartender, I worked for a corporate structure, and they decided after I bartended there for 7 years that they were going to make us undergo a personality test. And I had a district manager that wasn't my favorite, and I wasn't his. So unfortunately, I failed that personality test. So it kind of just pushed me out into the world. I knew that I no longer wanted to work for somebody. I was at a turning point in my life. I didn't want to bartend. I knew that my body couldn't hold out until I was 50. What kind of life was that going to provide for my small children?
Sure.
So I went to work for a cold calling company after I had stopped bartending. At that point, that marketing company kind of taught me everything I needed to know. I moved my way up very quick in that company, and I was able to, my first business, kind of mimic what he originally was doing. Right. Later on, I did change the structure of the business. I changed that to incentive-based marketing. Everything was cold call. And that's where I started. I went from there. Met my handsome husband, and he had already was working in underground specialty construction, and he had a business partner that wasn't too honest. So I brought that to his attention, and like any man, after a while, he was like, wait a second, you're right. You're totally right. So I partnered with him, and we did that for almost 8 years. And
wow. If you don't mind me jumping in here, underground construction.
Underground, directional boring.
What does that look like from a day-to-day operations? I mean, do you go underground every day? Is that where most of the work is occurring? What's that process like?
All of it. All of the work was occurring underground.
Oh my gosh.
So we carried conduit for high-level communications. So it kind of replaced old school trenching. When we were younger, the guys got shovels and they dug. Now they have a machine that goes through the ground and rotates like this, right? So it's ripping out the soil, leaving us a nice open hole for us to pull the conduit back. It's economically way better for the, ecosystem. And you only have to dig holes in the ground where you're crossing major utilities. Okay. So if I'm taking a piece of pipe from here to here and I have no major utilities to cross, I dig a hole here, I dig a hole here. The machine does the work. It's not a lot of, bad for the environment.
Right.
Now, if I'm crossing a gas line in the middle of there, because I'm crossing a live communication with a rotating apparatus, we have to dig up, have to be able to visibly see down into that gas line, and we have to watch our machine cross over the top of it. So it's very high risk work.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So that was with your then partner at the time, and
yes,
then
sir.
As you kind of transitioned through that, what opportunity came next?
So I lost my husband suddenly in 2022.
I should not say opportunity, but what?
Yeah. I know
oh my
you
goodness.
So I lost my husband in 2022, 1 year, same day from losing my mom. We had just moved to Virginia because in 21, my husband had open heart surgery.
Yeah.
And we knew we were up against a battle when we came. But he did great. He rebuilt our business. He did everything he needed to do. At that point, we had the idea to put the contractor's license in my name. because I would be eligible for more work being a woman.
Sure.
So in the grand scheme of things, his idea was great, but not when I lost him. It was no longer a great idea.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I was unable to get out of the contract. So I did finish that off, and kind of was at a crossroads. I didn't know what I was going to do, where I was going to go. We had 2 small children, one which found him passed away. I was new here. I didn't know anybody. And someone came to me, a girlfriend of mine came to me, and she owns a senior relocation service.
Yeah.
And they were looking for a new mover. So I, as a businesswoman, looked at the numbers, seen what I could do, seen what I can make. It's not as lucrative as construction, obviously,
Right.
but I knew it was something that I could sustain and live off of. So at that point, I decided to invest and take the jump.
Wow. Lord, thank you for being open with us, and appreciate you sharing that part of your journey as well, of what brought you to Virginia. I'm curious, what exactly got you to stick around and rebuild your life and your business here?
So when we came to Virginia in 2021, I turned 40 on February 22nd, and my husband had a stroke, or February 20th. My husband had a stroke February 22nd, which led to open heart surgery. So because we were a construction company with a contract, you can't run from the contracts.
No.
So we were able to lie our company dormant for a little bit of time. And when we had to go back to work, just short 6 months, 7 months later, when we had to go back to work, this is one of the locations that they had asked us if we wanted to go to. Work was plentiful. My husband knew the soil conditions here because we were spread the entire East Coast at one point, and my husband had worked here previously. So we knew the soil conditions. We knew we could do it. His only thing was, I'm not going without you. This time, I'm not traveling without you. I'm not doing that again. So that's how we ended up here. We knew some people here. I knew kind of the area. I knew Virginia was a great place. I knew that there was a lot of people-y people in Virginia, and I am a people person. So we decided just to take a leap of faith and go, because it was that or financial ruin, and we were going to lose everything we had. So we very quickly sold off everything and made the leap within 45 days.
Wow.
Because it was kind of you have to do it.
Yeah.
So we moved the company, we moved our home, our 2 children. Our oldest one, it was his senior year, so that was a little rough for him. But I didn't go back to Florida because I'm not a quitter, Joe. That's why. I'm not a quitter. I was brought here for a reason. I feel like your faith lines perfectly. You're put right where you need to be when you need to be there.
Yeah.
And I could accept defeat and go back home. But what is that teaching the 4 feet behind me? It's not teaching them anything.
Yeah.
Because
they're looking to you.
Yep. And with them being boys and, men, a lot of things are thrown at you guys in life. And I just wanted to teach them that perseverance is the way. There's no other option. Quitting is not an option. We pick up, we brush ourselves off, we dust ourselves off, and we figure out what's next. So that's why I didn't go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I was there 40 years of my life. And although I love my people there, the weather, it's the infrastructure in Florida, the work is not pristine work. It's just a lot of reasons. But I've been asked that if I had $1 for every time I was asked that. Yep.
Well, Laura, we're so glad you decided to persevere and also to pursue Virginia as your home, and now your new business as well, A Movable Solution, which I'd love to talk about next.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk about what led to that idea coming out of the it was the relocation space, right, for the retirement home?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And how did that opportunity come about for you?
So again, I'm an open book. So I have a lot of women in my life, and those women have been my core structure to hold myself together when I was falling apart. Because even the ones that are unbreakable break at times. And I was sitting down with one of my girlfriends over coffee, and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no clue. I have no clue. She said, I have somebody for you. She brought someone to me, and he was my head guy there for a little bit. Unfortunately, it didn't end up working out for either one of us. So it kind of left me on my own again.
Sure.
But I'm not only doing great, but
Yeah.
So when it was presented to me, I asked to see numbers. And as a businesswoman, numbers don't lie. So I knew that it was something. I looked at the market and how everybody was attacking it and realized nobody was attacking it organically in the women realm. So everybody in real estate, well, I don't want to say everybody, But probably, I don't know, I've never looked up the statistics, but 3/4 of them are probably honestly women. So I started finding women networking groups. I started finding all these things because I knew that the senior thing couldn't hold me alone. That couldn't
Right.
hold me and allow me to have 2 full-time guys. It just couldn't do it. So I started getting out and intermingling, getting involved in the community. I love, love, love to volunteer. It's one of my favorite things. So just getting out, shaking hands, organically marketing myself with me being the face of my company, this empowered woman
Hmm.
who has moved a mountain one rock at a time numerous times in my
Yes.
life. So I was like, I can just do this again. And honestly, Joe, a leap of faith. I was just like, let's do it and see what happens. And, I got a heck of a heavenly cheering squad. So they were
Wow.
like, all right, we're going to make sure stuff happens. And I've just been lined up with the right people along the way.
Yeah.
hmm
What an incredible testament to the perseverance aspect too, because in those moments, we don't know what's going to happen. Right. And so a lot of people might cling to the numbers or might cling to the business strategy or the business mentor. But when you don't have those things in place, or even if you do, there is an element of faith to building something that doesn't exist yet. And that's why you
Right.
need faith to do it. Right.
Right. A lot of
So,
businesses
yeah.
once you have a structure and you've built a structure, which I did some time ago in my late 20s.
Right.
So I feel like once you have that structure, it's kind of copy and paste. It's just, what are you going to do? Like the
Structure of a business overall.
right,
Yeah.
right. So I had already been up against that twice. So I'm like, well, what's the third time? Here we go.
Right.
And this time, though, everything else that I have done has come with contracts. So this time, I've had to draw my business. I've had to bring it in. No
Right.
startup has big money to dump in the digital world unless you're coming in, with buku's bucks. So I've done all my own marketing. Like I'm a one-man show, and I know I can't stay like that forever.
Sure.
Right? Because my position in life is to always find someone to replace me. I don't want to work. I want to retire. I want to be part of my business, but not in my business.
Right.
So that's give
Absolutely.
it a go, right?
That's,
Like, why not?
Yeah, that's one of our core mantras here with our team is being working on your business is not as important as working. Yes, you want to work on your business, not
Not
in
your business. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what is a movable solution for those who might not know, and what type of product or services do you offer the average day consumer?
So we are a full service moving company. We do residential, commercial, and industrial moves. We do hourly moves. We do flat rate moves, office buildings, homes. We do everything from A to Z. We
Wow.
pack it, we unpack it, we move it, we wrap it, all the fun things. I've collaborated with a couple other local companies here because I'm
Yeah.
all about that. I'm all about keeping the food within our channel. Why give it to the big guys when we can keep it in our channel?
Sure.
So I've collaborated with a junk guy and a couple other moving companies. So, we do it all, every bit of it.
I love that. Yeah. Especially too, when you're moving, it's just like the headache of figuring out all of the other pieces of moving on top of the actual moving of your stuff, right?
Correct.
Because there's taxes, real estate closings, or new contracts or leases that you're navigating as well. What do you think is one of the things that differentiates your marketing strategies from other, we'll call them bigger guys or other companies that, mainly, operate in that same field, but don't offer the same type of service that you do in the way that you do it?
I feel like there is no personable connection with
Sure.
those people. So when I went into moving, I definitely called around some moving companies, got some quotes, kind of seen how everybody's layout was, how they did it.
Yeah.
And I learned very early on how I didn't want to do it. So I do in-home estimates. There's very few companies around here that still do that. I do that. I go, I bring a little gift bag, I shake your hand. Hey, Joe, if you have a wife, I'd like for your wife to be home. So I think that I bring a face and a personality to moving when maybe that's not there. I bring that comfort of it's going to be okay.
Right.
Joe, I promise I'm going to take care of your family. People have my personal cell phone number. You can text, email, call me anytime I respond because I know that at that point in life, everything that you have and everything that you've saved for and all of your childhood memories and heirlooms and all those things, they need to be moved with care. So
Right.
I want to make sure you have access to me is the CEO, the owner at all points in time. You don't get that from a lot of companies. They're not going to give you access to the bigger guys. They're going to give you access to the little guys and make you climb that chain to get to that bigger guy. I don't want that. I want you to be able to come directly to me. Let's cut out all the middlemen. I want you to be able to call me and freely tell me if my guys didn't do a good job. So that way I know what I have to fix within my business, right? But if you didn't have direct access to me, how would you do that? So I think that's one thing that I bring that a lot of them don't. I am available to my customers. They have my cell phone number. I actually develop a lot of friendships out of my customers too, which is great. It's great to, again, get out in the community, get to know the people around. At this point, I've had moved dad, son, daughter when she got married. So, it's now even just within a year and a half, not even a year and a half, it's grown to where now I'm getting referrals from realtors I never even know. I've never met them, Joe.
Yeah.
So I know that it's getting out there, and I know that that's the one element that I think that I give to it that a lot of these moving companies don't. Corporate, they have a structure, right? So they do their way. And then there's a couple other small moving companies in the area that grew very rapidly, very quickly. They took a lot of, I believe, the same approaches that I've taken because they are out there. They're very involved in the community. And that's important.
Yeah.
You have to give back. You have to give back to your community.
Yeah. It's so interesting you mentioned that. I distinctly remember whenever we were moving, the process was you call an office on the phone, you get the assistant, you give them some general metrics. They say, hey, I'll call you back. And you did that 5 or 6 times, and then you got 1 or 2 calls back. Right. There wasn't any options for them coming to the home. There wasn't really any options aside from, hey, we're kind of like, I'll pick on Cox Internet. Why not? Because you're here to stay, whether you like it or not. We'll be here between the hours of 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Like, we'll see you in that window. A lot of moving companies operate that same way too. We're doing other jobs. We might have things overlap. We're running late. One guy went to get coffee or whatnot. And then your point A to point B now gets changed. Right. And if you're doing on your moving day and you have an agent with a closing date, right? All those pieces add up. So that's very fascinating too, that you offered that perspective as well. I'd love to hear more about the community part as well, because community, unfortunately, is one of those words like we toss around like a little bit too much. And I think it can mean a couple different things to a couple different people. So I'd love to hear from you, Laura. What exactly does community mean? And what does it mean for your business to actively engage with the community and, like you said, keep the money here locally?
So I'm big on giving back. Big on that. And I think people think when they think giving back as a business owner, it means money.
Sure.
Right. Of course, that's a lot of times part of it. But your time as a human is something that you could never replace. So when I am bringing my time to you and I'm volunteering my time to you, that's giving back to the community. Right. It's something that I know that I'm not going to be awarded for as a human. And I'm 1,000% okay with that. Because it makes my heart feel unlike anything else has ever made my heart feel. So to me, community is community involvement. You need to be out there. I'm part of numerous organizations. I sit on a couple committees doing their fundraising. I constantly, find nonprofits that I can sit down and talk to see how I can help them. I get out there and I help with events. If they need events help set up, I have a lot of personal connections to these people. So, hey, listen, you need somebody to come set up your event. Hopefully I got the manpower, I'll come. If it's something I can even give my guys for, I've given my guys for. Anything that I can do. To me, that's community. To me is, again, what you put out in life is what you're getting back. If you're not putting out good and you wonder why your life is always crashing and burning, you might want to reevaluate how you act when you open the front door of your house and step into that stage. Right? Because it takes so much less to be kind than it does to be nasty. And so when people think community involvement, it's like, oh, well, I gave some money here or there. To me, that's not community involvement. Community involvement is getting in the trench, digging with your guys. To me, that's involvement. I want to show you that I'm not here just to show up for you, Joe. I'm here to show up and show out.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. Hand me the shovel. Let's go. That's the kind of person I am. So I think, and I do a lot of different like women wellness things and brain food and all those great things to get out in the community and to meet people. So that side of community as well. Yeah. It's where I'm a big referral base for all the local people
I
So
love that. I love that, Laura. And the energy that you bring to that too is, very contagious because a lot of people, and business owners, whether it's intentional or not, they think the only option is to give money. And it's
right.
like, well, I don't have any money, then I can't give. Or I gave my $100 for the year. Like, I'm good to go. I've checked that box. But it's so much more than that because it's an active, for you, the way you're describing is an ongoing relationship. It's an ongoing conversation as well.
Right. Like I said, the most valuable thing you can give anybody on the face of this planet, Joe, is your time.
Yeah.
It's valuable. You can never get it back. No matter how much money you got, none of us got a time machine. You can't go backwards. If you could, I would have already done it, honey.
Laura, from all the entrepreneurs and business owners that you've met, both in the management field and also the owner field that you've engaged with, what do you think separates the ones who succeed from the ones who struggle to gain any traction at all?
Ones that empower each other make it further. I can give you a dead answer on that. Yep. The people that sit in the back burner and hate on the people, because sometimes it's not your time. And I think that so many, especially female entrepreneurs, don't understand that. You're following people on social media, they're growing, they're flourishing, they're doing all these different things. Instead of hating on that person, reach out and ask them what they're doing, right? Because if I'm here to empower women, like I'm all about it, girl, call me and ask me what I'm doing because I'm going to tell you. Not only am I going to tell you, I'm going to send you the link. This is exactly how you do it, right? So I feel like empowerment is huge. It is so big. And if you get out there and you empower people and your voice is heard, I feel like that's where it's at. Like,
Yeah.
So I can sit in the back burner. I can sit in the background, but nobody's going to know who Laura is.
Yeah.
Right. So business, I always tell people, if you're an introvert, you got to definitely break out of it, become an extrovert and empower other people and wait for your turn. Right. So I'm going to clap for you, even if it's not my turn, because my turn's coming, but I have to support you until it's my turn because that's how life works.
Yeah.
So I'm all about empowerment, love empowering women. I'm getting ready to do next Friday. She Talks. Myself as well as 11 other women are speaking.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Let's hear about that. So She Talks, where's that going to be?
It's called She Talks Greenbrier Country Club.
Okay. Very cool.
There's 12 women ranging from my little old self to doctors. So we're all going to be there and share our story, kind of, in business, the pits, the peaks, the ugly sides of, being a woman in sometimes, like with me, it's in the male-dominated industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I love the male-dominated industry. But nonetheless, we're just going to all share. The stories are incredible. There's one lady that's been in business for 40 plus years there. Down
here locally in Hampton Roads.
They're all local women.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked about it. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
we're going to have to follow for a part 2 on that one because I'm sure there's going to be some gems there.
Heck yeah. Great women. Great women. I'm so excited to share the stage with them and talk with them. But
awesome.
yeah.
Well, Laura, thank you so much for your time. As we come down to the end of our conversation today, love to throw out some rapid fire questions for you here. Maybe get a little bit light on your feet here and also talk about some local charm. When you're looking for a good time out in the Virginia Beach area, where do you find yourself maybe checking out to explore for maybe some drinks with the ladies or just hanging out, enjoying their company?
Orion's Roof.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
The Orion's Rooftop is so spectacular too, because it's like the only one.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one, but I'm not going to name it because it's not worth mentioning. But yeah, Orion's is the go-to.
But I like to go around like happy hour because I want to be able, the windows are so big. And if you look out there at nighttime, it's just dark.
Yeah.
So I like to be able to
You have to go during the day to see the people and people watch as well.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
Good tip.
Orion, so it's for sure my go-to.
When it comes to desserts or spots that you enjoy for sweet items or candies in general, where do you find yourself gravitating to here in the area?
Oh, that's a rough one because I'm not really like a big sweets person.
What's your favorite beverage? We can change the question. Favorite place to get maybe coffee or meeting for drinks?
I like cold press. Cold press to meet for coffee.
Okay.
Drinks. My absolute favorite is called Park Lane.
Park Lane.
Martini Thursdays. Hey.
Shout out Martini Thursdays.
Yes. And pineapple upside down. You got to have it. Pineapple upside down martini. My favorite breakfast spot, lunch spot is Bay Local.
Okay.
I
Wow.
mean,
I love that.
absolutely love those
Jumping off on
guys.
Bay Local. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the weather guy that came during the snow
Joe,
apocalypse.
what is his name? Joe Cacciatore or
Joe Weather
something?
guy. Yeah, I don't know. But he like went to Bay Local because that's like where you go to eat.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Shout out to Bay Local as well. This is a shout out. It's free. Sunsets or sunrises?
Whoa, I like to sleep in, so we're gonna go sunsets.
Sunsets. Love it. If you could time travel to any point in Virginia Beach history, which time travel moment would you go to?
Ooh, that's hard because I'm not from here.
I know.
I would take it back to the 80s.
To the 80s.
To the 80s.
Okay.
I loved growing up in the 80s and 90s. Like great. I mean, people still were peopling
Yeah.
in the 80s and 90s.
How's it I mean, there's still a great skating squad, rollerblades and quad skaters out there now, but I can only imagine how that was in the 80s.
Right.
Like looking back, 20s that we were wearing suits to beaches. So yeah, we got to go to the 80s for sure.
Right. Because I feel like in the 80s, we went for the right reasons. We packed a lunch. And what did you go for? You went to spend the day with your family. You didn't have cell phones distracting you or cameras taking pictures. Like you really enjoyed the family element of it. And that's why in any state, any city, anything, that's the time span I would go back to.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Laura, thank you so much for the conversation today.
Yes.
We'd love to roll out the red carpet and this camera here. Any final words or messages you want to leave the audience with? The floor is all yours.
Ladies, when you feel like you can't believe in yourself, know that you can do it. Even if you're moving at one rock at a time, you can move the mountain. That's pretty much it, and I hope you all win. Everybody, I hope we all win. That's what I want in life.
Thank you so much for your
You're
conversation
welcome, Joe.
today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.